I saw an Instagram ad with the founder's story and could relate to him and was in a very stressful season of my life. And I thought that sounds good. So I just ordered some from the company. I remember distinctly, I was sitting in my office at my old house and taking my first drink, and it was like Limitless, like that show, like, and I'm thinking, wow, this is amazing. I want more of this. One bottle is like 1 to 2 servings a day, and I didn't take 1 to 2 servings a day for very long.
The makers of this little herbal supplement right here, this little blue bottle, they do not want you to have this information. A few weeks ago, I got a call from one of my best friends. He let me know that some things in his life weren't really going the way that he wanted to, and he just wanted to have a conversation about it. And then he dropped a bomb that shocked me. And it shouldn't have shocked me. It definitely should not have shocked me because there were clues along the way. But he let me know, hey, I'm really addicted to this herbal supplement called Feel Free. It's these little blue bottles. Now, I had seen him with these little blue bottles all of the time we had traveled together, and he'd have big gallon Ziploc bags of these bottles. He let me know that he was drinking about 8 to 10 of these a day, and he couldn't stop. They had a grip on him so tight that he was addicted. So he made a plan that he was going to taper himself off of the Feel Free. He didn't feel like he had the freedom of life that he wanted because he was so beholden to this stuff. So I'm about to jump on a call with Adrian, who is my friend that I was telling you about that's been addicted to Feel Free. It's been clean for a couple weeks now.
Sure.
How are you, man?
I'm good. I actually just got off with a law firm that's bringing the class action suit.
Really?
Yeah. I've got to do work and figure out how much money I spent on this stuff.
Yeah.
Which is a lot. When I was using them, I definitely didn't want to look at the number.
Yeah. Well,
But I would buy so much at 7-Eleven, they asked me if I was selling them.
So before I go any further in our story, what is this Feel Free thing? Let's take a look at the Feel Free website. It's really cool. It's got this on the cover. It's got this surfer guy, and he's black and white. And the only thing that you see is this blue bottle. It's super iconic, very, very recognizable. It says mind lift, energy focused, feel free to feel good. And then, of course, as you scroll down, it has all the things: plant-based, lab-tested, kosher, consume responsibly. Oh, well, that one's interesting. I mean, I guess that's, with anything. Alcohol-free, nut-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, plant-based, 100% vegan, lab-tested. So it's really touting this thing as super-duper safe for you. It's just herbs, man. There's nothing crazy inside of it. There's 2 real active ingredients that are inside of Feel Free. The first one is kava. Now, kava you may have heard of. It's a plant-based herbal thing. I don't know a lot about it, and that's not what this channel's about. But according to a lot of people, if you drink or eat kava, you can feel really relaxed and real social. It can loosen you up in ways. That's probably the minor player in this Feel Free. There's actually a star, but they don't tout it as the star. They tout it as secondary. That is kratom. As we look at their ingredients page, they have kava root first, and then they have this thing called leaf kratom. Now, they tout it as something really fantastical. It's a tropical evergreen tree in the coffee family, and it's native to the Southeast Asia, particularly Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia. Kratom leaves have been traditionally used in the regions for centuries. So it's this miracle leaf extract, right? What they don't tell you is that kratom has some uses. It's been used in the past, as far as I understand. It's been used to help people get off of opium or opioids or heroin, things like that. But what they also don't tell you is that kratom itself can be incredibly addictive and have some pretty massive side effects. The other thing I think you should know about Feel Free, and that's such an ironic name, Feel Free, is that they have touted this thing as an alternative to alcohol. So they've really targeted, not so much on their website, but as I've watched the owner on podcasts and I've seen other people that are really proponents of this thing, there are a lot of people that are in recovery from alcohol. So it's supposed to be, they talk about it like a safe alternative to alcohol that can loosen you up socially, make you feel really good. Essentially, people are just really getting high off of this stuff. I went to 7-Eleven and I bought a bottle, and I was absolutely shocked at how much I paid for a single bottle. I'm on my way to go see if I can find some of this Feel Free stuff in a gas station nearby or a grocery store or something. I want to see how easy it is to buy it. So let's go see what it's like to get some Feel Free. Bought my first bottle of Feel Free and my last bottle of Feel Free. I paid $8.13. It was behind the counter. I didn't have to, I didn't have to show ID or anything. Just bought a bottle of Feel Free. $8 a bottle. Some people are drinking up to 10 bottles a day of this. That's $80 a day. You could do the math of what that means over 6 months or 12 months. So not only is it breaking people financially, it's causing severe health issues and severe addiction and depression, all of the things that we've talked about already. This is insane. I can't believe I can just buy this. If you're drinking 10 of these a day, at $8 a pop, that's $80 a day. I can't even imagine. I mean, I could do the math, but I won't. I can't even imagine what kind of financial commitment that is over a year's time. And as I've read of people's stories of being addicted to this thing, people have been drinking 8 to 10 bottles a day for years, and they can't kick it. I want to talk about how people are relating to some of this stuff in the media, on YouTube, on podcasts, those who are actually for it. It's actually really crazy. If you go on YouTube and you search Feel Free, there's not a lot of content around it, but there is some content. They've made recipes that make it a little bit more palatable that you can drink. There's people talking about how it's got them to quit drugs and alcohol and how it makes them feel just really, really good. And it's the staple of every single morning for them. But of course, as I let you know, there's an incredibly dark side of Feel Free. Things that most people aren't talking about, and you have to do a little bit of digging to find out. And if you know somebody personally who's been addicted to Feel Free, it's incredibly devastating. But Feel Free, of course, they don't want this information out. The owner himself, J.W. Ross, talks about his struggle with alcoholism and how Feel Free helped him recover and overcome that addiction, and now how amazing it is for his life. Of course, on the many podcasts that he guests on and all the videos and content that he doesn't mention his criminal background or the class action suit that's being filed against Feel Free. If you're interested in learning more about J.W. Ross and the Feel Free origins and the story and all the trouble that they've been making along the way, you can watch this really great video. It's really well done by Scott Carney. I'm just gonna play a clip of it right now so you can get a taste of this video, what a good job he's done covering it, and a little bit of the shenanigans that are going on behind the scenes.
This is J.W. Ross. Whether he's walking around in a jungle full of medicinal plants or calmly expounding on his business acumen online, he appears to be like any other founder of a wellness empire. But a strange thing happens when you start to Google his identity. Before a few years ago, well, he's a ghost. Basically non-existent. That's because his real name, it's not J.W. Ross. It's Jerry Cash. He's the former founder of an oil exploration company in Oklahoma who got caught stealing millions of dollars in a money laundering scheme. In 2009, he was sentenced to 9 years in jail, and Botanic Tonics was his next business venture.
So Botanic Tonics is the company that makes Feel Free. Obviously, very salacious, lots of history here. I encourage you, after you watch this video, go watch that video. My video is more about the freedom of thought, the story of the people whose freedom of thought has been taken away because of their addiction to this stuff. There's been some mention of Feel Free by some pretty popular names, some influencers on YouTube, one of those being Joe Rogan. And I want you to just watch this video with me for just a second.
What are those called? Feel Free? Those little kava and kratom drinks. There's a lawsuit about them now. Do you know what those are? Ron White brought a bunch to the club. Those things are
Not those
addictive.
Four Locos, huh?
No. It's a tiny little drink, like a tonic. And it has kava and also kratom in it.
Oh, I saw him with that last night.
Yeah. Boy, I don't know what's going on with those things, what that does, but you drink a half of one of those, you're not supposed to drink a full one. You're supposed to drink a half of one. There's a lawsuit because this one dude, they were getting them at 7-Eleven and a bunch of other different places. This one dude was an alcoholic and a drug addict, I guess. And he was clean and sober and started drinking these things and went off the deep end. And he was drinking 10 a day, which is crazy. That's 20 doses a day. You're not supposed to have more than 2 in a day. 2 doses, we mean 1 bottle.
So I wish it was just one dude. It's a class action lawsuit. So obviously there's many more than just one dude. In fact, a lot of the stories that I'm going to share with you in this video come from a Reddit feed called Quitting Feel Free. And there are something like 2,800 members in this Reddit group. And that's just going to be Reddit users. That's just going to be a small sample of the people that are suffering from their addiction to Feel Free. Another gentleman by the name of JP Sears, he's a popular YouTuber. This is his secondary channel called JB Reacts, where he did a video talking about his own addiction to Feel Free. Take a listen.
Then you fast forward and I realize I'm pretty hooked on these things. Like I'm hooked on these things. And the company recommends drink no more than a bottle per day. You know, it's a 2-ounce bottle. They say only half a bottle at a time. I was up to 6 bottles a day most days. Once in a while, it would be more than that. And the addictive cycle was very hard for my self-esteem, where I felt like a piece of garbage, like I need to go out and get one of these. And the addictive cycle, I can't really speak to the chemical addiction of kratom and how that works in the body, even though, generally speaking, kratom starts to plug into your opiate receptors, and we know that explains a lot. But what I can say is the mood addiction. These things, they take you up. You feel mildly euphoric, which is kind of cool. You just drank this bottle and that's a nice feeling. But because there's no biological free lunch, there's a crash. For how high you go up, that's how low you get. So after you've been drinking these for a while, your resting state, if you will, is relatively depressed, can be anxious, you feel low, you feel unenergetic, and you start to say, there's one way I know how I can go up real quick, and that means you gotta have another, and then another.
So this is the most common things that I've heard from people that are on Feel Free or addicted to Feel Free, is that the anxiety that happens around Feel Free is intense. And then the self-doubt and the self-esteem goes way, way down, because all of a sudden you're really dependent on this thing. And you know, a lot of people that have gotten into it have addictive personalities, and so they realize that, oh, there's one thing that I can do to bring this back up, and they go get it, and they come back up for an hour or 2 hours, but then they're back down, and the anxiety that people describe coming down off of this stuff is intense.
Most of my experience on the drug was, if I don't have it, I'm not well. But I needed it to feel at my baseline, or like feel normal. And that's when the volume would go up. I remember going on a fly fishing trip to Alaska, and I brought probably 4 boxes with me, and several bottles broke, and it freaked me out. Because now I'm rationing. Now I'm like in the most beautiful setting ever, and I'm thinking about, okay, how many do I have and which days? So there's a lot of anxiety, like you're gonna run out of your supply.
So I want to look at a couple of stories with you on the Reddit thread about what it's like to be addicted to Feel Free. This one's titled, Here We Go Again. It says, I'm on the 2nd day of cold turkey. I've relapsed over 8 times. This time for a few months with a week break, and did it another month. I can't afford this habit. It's ruined my finances, my personality, and my mental health. What is the secret to staying sober? Longest I made it was 5 months. I can't believe I'm back on this page for the 4th time. I hate kratom. This one says nausea and vomiting. Does anyone know the reason why I get incredibly nauseous and or vomit while taking Feel Free? Imagine being addicted to something that you want over and over and over again, and it makes you nauseated and vomiting. In this subreddit, Quitting Feel Free, people talk about maxing out multiple credit cards to feed the addiction. They talk about hiding it from their spouses and from their parents. They talk about being able to do it out in the open and nobody even knows because what? It's an herbal supplement.
I think when anybody that struggles with any kind of addiction, there's a shame part of it. Even like in front of my kids, like they would never like talk about it. I told my son once that I was going to quit, or that I was going to stop drinking them. I didn't want to act like it was an addiction.
Yeah.
But I was going to stop drinking it, and then I didn't. That started to bother me, like what kind of example I am in front of them. And I knew it was a crutch. And I wanted to stop serving these addictions because it's just a distraction.
Just recently, CBS News did an article with a woman by the name of Jasmine Adoye. I'm murdering that last name. She's an account manager based in Austin, Texas, decided to stop drinking in June of 2022. Again, this is a pattern. They really go after people who have had an unhealthy relationship with alcohol, especially the influencers and the podcasters that have talked about it have really pressed the issue. Hey, if you've had issues with alcohol, go try Feel Free. The problem with that is that these people have addictive behaviors and mentalities. And so when they get something like this that makes them feel really good, of course, what's going to happen? They're going to get addictive. Now, I'm not saying that they've maliciously put that frame around it, but it just seems really suspicious. So this says within a year and a half, Adoya said she's addicted to the drink. Feel Free Classic. So Jasmine explains, as far as she understands, Botanic Tonics manufactures and sells as a miracle beverage that could help people trying to overcome addiction and embrace sobriety. Having struggled with binge drinking in the past, Jasmine was intrigued. Kratom, a plant native of the Southeast Asia, can produce feelings of energy, ease anxiety, and reduce pain. Jasmine also says in this interview, when I woke up, I'd be dope sick, essentially. I need to go straight to the gas station to go buy Feel Free to immediately feel better. This past March, after one bout of withdrawal symptoms was so severe, she sought medical care close to her home in Austin. She hadn't told the doctors she was struggling with kratom use. She said, and they chalked it up to symptoms like a virus. All of a sudden, it just spirals out of control, and you get to a point where you feel like you can't live without them, and you become a shell of a person. Other people have posted pictures on the Quitting Feel Free of their skin. Apparently, one of the side effects of using kratom is dry skin. You can see here these hands. People talk about it in their hands, in their knuckles, in their arms, on their face, in their eyes. Somebody talked about their eyes getting so dry and not being able to produce tears and getting styes in their eyes that they finally had to go to the doctor and figure out what they could do about their eyes, and it was ultimately the kratom that was causing it. So what's it like to detox from this stuff? What is the anguish and pain that people go through in order to stop drinking if they have the personal wherewithal and strength to do it in the first place? What will they experience when they come off of this thing? Many people talk about the detox process feeling like it takes about 5 days. Listen to this. The withdrawals were awful. Anxiety, panic, depression, cold sweats, insomnia, body aches, restless legs, all of the classic withdrawal symptoms. It wasn't until the end of day 5 that I started to feel over it. The personal fortitude and strength and courage that it takes to get off of this stuff is something that is so commendable, and it's also so incredibly heartbreaking. What was quitting like?
Very scary. I talked to a guy that had some experience in this before, and he said it was going to be bad, that it was going to be a couple weeks of a lot of pain. And he's a smart guy, and he knows all about this. So I started doing some research about it and found a whole community, which was both comforting and even more frightening. I found one guy that had essentially wrote a protocol about what to do to quit, but I I was scared. I live a really full life and I can't spend like a week in bed or something. I don't want to spend for sure. And I've got kids to take care of and a business to take care of. I do like a challenge, and if it's tough, great, let's go. Otherwise, I was also scared that I would be part of the crowd that couldn't quit. That's when I reached out to you and told other key people in my life about how bad it was, because I'd been hiding it, not sharing it.
Now, what's it like when people finally experience freedom? Freedom from the shackles of carrying 10 or 20 little glass blue bottles wherever they go. What's that experience like when they finally get through the 5 days of excruciating pain, the restless leg syndrome, the anxiety, the courage to take that on day after day and not go back to the little blue bottle? I found a post in the Quitting Feel Free, and the title of the post is, "What are the benefits of quitting Feel Free? How do you improve after removing the little blue bottle devils from your life?" Listen to the life that people get back when they break this habit. This one says, "For me, once I escaped with the withdrawal and got distance, it was simply feeling again. Appreciating the little things you missed out on, sunlight and your kid's face. I didn't feel chained to those little bottles anymore. I didn't start panicking every time I left the house without one with me. I was able to start saving money again. I didn't rely on them to regulate my moods anymore. I could go on, but I'm still and always will be in recovery. My hair's growing back. I experienced insane hair loss. It was worse than postpartum hair loss. My self-worth skyrocketed. I hated myself on those things. My skin looks so much better. Even after only a few days of not using it, I actually feel less anxious overall. So much of my thought process and day-to-day revolved around thinking about when I could take another dose or having to run to the store to get more. Also, I'm learning I actually enjoy coffee and writing again. Finances, relationships, moods, work, productivity, memory, enjoying my kids, libido, hair, skin, quality of sleep, gaining back some of the 30 pounds I lost. The list goes on and on. 2 months free, cold turkey, from 10 to 12 daily." So my friends, I couldn't think of a better term than what was in that Reddit feed. The little blue bottle devil. The thing that nobody's talking about is that this little blue bottle is stealing the freedom from so many good people. And it's incredibly excruciating to get that freedom back. The opportunity is to experience freedom again. Freedom of thought, freedom of choice, freedom of action. My friends, education and accurate information is the antithesis. It is the enemy to addiction and bondage. Feel Free does not want this information to get out there because they want you to be a slave to their little blue bottle, their tonic. Any words for anybody who might be watching this that is in the throes of it, knows somebody that's in the throes of it? What would you say to them?
First off, if you see anybody drinking one of these, take note, ask how they're doing. If anybody's addicted to anything, they don't want to talk about it, and they'll probably lie to you about it. So if you ask them how many they're drinking, they're gonna say, "Oh, I drink it every once in a while," but they drink it every day. If they say drink a couple a day, that means 4 or 5. So just be thoughtful about that. Anybody that's hooked on something, there's a lot of fear in it too. So just be that wide open and loving person. Ask them if they're happy that they're drinking them or not, or if they'd like some help. And if you haven't been through addiction, then it's best to connect them with someone who's been in it. That's the power of the recovery community. If you're on them, I'd love to talk with you, love to help. And trust me, you'll feel a lot better once you go through the manageable pain of getting off them. You'll feel more proud of yourself, and we all want to feel proud of ourselves. So it's worth it. Don't give another day, another moment, another dollar to this thing that's just merely survival.
It is a constant battle to fight for your personal freedom. Don't give up the fight, stay vigilant, and think critically. Peace.